The arrival. The night sky above Millbrook erupted in a blaze of light, momentarily turning darkness into day. Residents of the sleepy town stirred from their beds, drawn to windows and porches by the celestial spectacle. Among them was 12-year-old Zoe Harper, her bright green eyes wide with wonder as she watched a streak of fire arc across the heavens. "Mom, Dad, come quick," Zoe called out, her voice tinged with excitement and a hint of fear. But her parents, exhausted from long shifts at the local diner, merely grumbled and rolled over in their sleep. The fireball plummeted earthward, growing larger by the second. Zoe held her breath, certain it would crash into the center of town. But at the last moment, it veered sharply, disappearing behind the tree line of Willow Creek Forest. The ground shook with the impact, and a plume of smoke rose above the trees. Zoe's heart raced. She knew she should stay inside, wait for the adults to investigate in the morning. But curiosity tugged at her like a physical force. Before she could talk herself out of it, she was pulling on her sneakers and jacket, quietly slipping out the back door. The night air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine and something else, something alien and electric. Zoe pedaled her bike down the empty streets, the only sound the whir of her tires on asphalt. As she neared the forest's edge, she could see an eerie glow emanating from within. Leaving her bike propped against a tree, Zoe ventured into the woods. She picked her way carefully over gnarled roots and fallen branches, guided by the strange light ahead. The forest seemed to hold its breath, unusually silent save for the occasional snap of a twig beneath her feet. As she pushed through a dense thicket, Zoe suddenly found herself on the edge of a clearing, one that hadn't existed yesterday. At its center lay a massive, smoldering crater, and in the heart of that crater was something. Zoe's first instinct was to run. The creature before her was like nothing she'd ever seen, not even in her wildest imagination. It was easily twice her size, with a body that seemed to shimmer and shift, as if it couldn't quite decide on a solid form. Multiple limbs, she couldn't tell exactly how many, twitched and curled. What might have been a head swiveled in her direction, revealing clusters of iridescent orbs that she assumed were eyes. But as Zoe took a hesitant step backward, her foot caught on a root. She tumbled to the ground with a yelp of surprise. The alien's reaction was immediate and unexpected. Instead of attacking or fleeing, it let out a low, keening sound, a sound of pain. Zoe froze, her fear warring with a sudden, overwhelming sense of empathy. The creature was hurt, and hurt, she realized, was something universal. "It's okay," she found herself saying, her voice barely above a whisper. "I won't hurt you." The alien's eyes, if that's what they were, blinked rapidly. It made another sound, softer this time, almost questioning. Slowly, carefully, Zoe got to her feet. She took a tentative step forward, then another. The creature didn't move, watching her with what she could only interpret as wary curiosity. As she drew closer, Zoe could see the extent of the alien's injuries. Its shimmering skin was marred by angry red gashes, and one of its limbs was bent at an unnatural angle. Whatever this being was, wherever it had come from, it was in no shape to harm anyone. "You're hurt pretty bad, huh?" Zoe said, surprising herself with how steady her voice sounded. I think I can help. Will you let me?" The alien made no sound, but it slowly extended one of its uninjured limbs toward her. Zoe reached out, hesitated for a moment, then gently placed her hand on the creature's. Its skin was cool and smooth, vibrating slightly beneath her touch. In that moment of contact, something extraordinary happened. A flood of images and sensations washed over Zoe, vast starfields, strange worlds, the loneliness of an endless journey. She gasped, staggering back, her mind reeling from the alien's touch. What was that?" She breathed, staring at her hand in wonder. The alien's form rippled, and it emitted a series of clicks and whistles. Though Zoe couldn't understand the sounds, she somehow knew the creature was trying to communicate. Okay, she said, taking a deep breath to calm herself. Let's start with something simple. I'm Zoe. Can you tell me your name? The alien was silent for a long moment. Then, it produced a sound unlike anything Zoe had ever heard, a complex harmony of tones that seemed to resonate in her very bones. That's quite a mouthful, Zoe said with a nervous laugh. How about I call you Harmony? Because of the way your voice sounds. The newly christened Harmony tilted its head, considering. Then it made a sound that Zoe could have sworn was a chuckle. All right, Harmony it is, she said, grinning despite the surreal nature of the situation. Now, let's see about patching you up. As Zoe began to tend to Harmony's wounds, using her limited knowledge of first aid and whatever she could scavenge from the surrounding forest, she was acutely aware of the weight of the moment. She, a 12-year-old girl from a small town, was the first human to make contact with an alien life form. It was terrifying, exhilarating, and utterly world-changing. But even as she worked, Zoe couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Something monumental had been set in motion with Harmony's arrival, something that would change not just her life, but the course of human history. In the distance, sirens began to wail. The town was waking up, becoming aware of the strange visitor in their midst. Zoe knew she had precious little time before the authorities arrived. We need to get you somewhere safe, she told Harmony, her mind racing. Can you move? Harmony struggled to rise, its body undulating with the effort. But after a few attempts, it managed to lift itself from the crater. Zoe couldn't help but marvel at the alien's resilience. Okay, good, she said, glancing nervously over her shoulder at the sound of approaching vehicles. Follow me. I know a place where we can hide. As Zoe led Harmony deeper into the forest, away from the crash site and the coming storm of human panic and military intervention, she felt a mix of fear and determination. She didn't know why this alien had come to Earth, or what its presence might mean for humanity. But she did know one thing: she was going to protect Harmony, no matter what. The first rays of dawn were just beginning to peek over the horizon as Zoe and Harmony disappeared into the shadows of Willow Creek Forest. Behind them, the small town of Millbrook buzzed with activity, unaware that the course of human history had just been irrevocably altered. In the coming days, as the military cordoned off the area and scientists debated the implications of the crash, Zoe would become the unlikeliest of heroes, a bridge between two worlds and humanity's best hope for a peaceful first contact. But for now, in the quiet of the forest, all that mattered was the bond forming between a young girl and a being from beyond the stars. It was a friendship that would challenge everything humanity thought they knew about the universe and their place in it. As they moved through the underbrush, Harmony's bioluminescent skin casting a soft glow around them, Zoe couldn't help but smile. Whatever came next, she knew her life would never be the same. And somehow, that didn't seem like such a bad thing. The symbiosis. As dawn broke over Millbrook, the quaint town found itself at the epicenter of humanity's greatest discovery. Military vehicles rumbled down Main Street, their presence a stark contrast to the usual peaceful mornings. But hidden deep within Willow Creek Forest, a miracle was unfolding, one that would challenge everything humans thought they knew about life in the universe. Zoe crouched beside Harmony in the damp cave she found, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and fear. The alien's iridescent skin pulsed with an otherworldly glow, casting dancing shadows on the rocky walls. How are you feeling? Zoe whispered, reaching out to touch one of Harmony's appendages. The moment their skin made contact, a jolt of energy surged through her body. Zoe gasped, images flooding her mind, vast star systems, incredible technologies, and a dire warning. Harmony's body rippled, and a series of melodic tones filled the air. Though Zoe couldn't understand the words, she felt their meaning deep in her bones. Danger, they seemed to say. Not just for me, but for your entire world. Zoe's brow furrowed. What kind of danger? How can I help? As if in response, Harmony's skin began to shift and flow. To Zoe's amazement, a tendril of the alien's body extended towards her, wrapping gently around her wrist. Before she could react, the tendrils seemed to melt into her skin, leaving behind an intricate, glowing pattern. "What's happening?" Zoe breathed, staring at the mark in wonder. Suddenly, Harmony's voice resonated in her mind, clear as day. "Symbiosis initiated. I apologize for the intrusion, young Zoe, but time is short. Our species must unite to face the coming storm." Zoe's eyes widened. "You can talk. I mean, I can understand you now." "Yes," Harmony replied, its mental voice tinged with urgency. "The mark I've given you is more than decoration. It's a bridge between our species, a symbiotic link that allows us to share knowledge, abilities, and even physical traits." As if to demonstrate, Zoe felt a tingling sensation spread from the mark on her wrist. To her astonishment, her skin began to shimmer with the same bioluminescent glow as Harmony's. "Whoa," she breathed, flexing her fingers and watching the light dance across her skin. "This is incredible. But why me? Why now?" Harmony's form undulated, a gesture Zoe somehow knew indicated deep concern. "I am a scout, sent to warn your people. A great darkness approaches, an ancient race that consumes worlds. They set their sights on Earth, and without preparation, your planet will fall." Zoe felt a chill run down her spine. An alien invasion, like in the movies. "Far worse," Harmony replied. "These beings don't merely conquer, they assimilate. They absorb the essence of entire civilizations, erasing all that makes them unique. Countless worlds have already fallen." "But why Earth?" Zoe asked, her mind reeling from the implications. "We're not that advanced. Surely there are better targets out there." Harmony's mental voice took on a tone of reverence. "Your species possesses something rare and precious in this universe, an innate creativity, an ability to imagine possibilities beyond the confines of what is. This gift makes you uniquely suited to combat the coming threat." Zoe looked down at her glowing skin, then back at Harmony. "And this symbiosis, how does it help?" "It is the key to unlocking your potential," Harmony explained. "My people have evolved the ability to share our essence with compatible species. Through this link, we can grant you access to knowledge and abilities beyond your current evolutionary state. In return, we hope to learn from your unparalleled imagination." As if to demonstrate, Zoe suddenly found her mind flooded with information, complex mathematical equations, the intricacies of faster-than-light travel, and the fundamental principles of matter manipulation. She staggered, overwhelmed by the influx of knowledge. "Easy," Harmony cautioned. "It will take time for your mind to adjust, but with practice, you'll be able to access this information at will." Zoe took a deep breath, centering herself. As the flood of data subsided, she felt different, stronger, more aware. She could sense the life forces of the forest around her, feel the energy flowing through the earth beneath her feet. "This is amazing," she whispered. "But Harmony, I'm just a kid. How am I supposed to convince anyone about this threat? They'll think I'm crazy." Harmony's appendages curled around Zoe in a gesture that felt oddly comforting. "You underestimate yourself, young one. The symbiosis chose you for a reason. Your compassion, your bravery in the face of the unknown. These qualities make you the perfect bridge between our peoples." Zoe squared her shoulders, feeling a surge of determination. "Okay, so what's our next move?" Before Harmony could respond, the cave echoed with the sound of approaching vehicles and shouting voices. The military had expanded their search perimeter. "We must move," Harmony urged. "The symbiosis is still new. If we're separated now, the link could be severed." Zoe nodded, her mind racing. "I have an idea, but you'll have to trust me." As the sounds grew closer, Zoe closed her eyes and concentrated. Drawing on the new knowledge swirling in her mind, she focused on the bioluminescent glow of her skin. To her amazement, the light began to shift and change, bending the very fabric of space around them. When she opened her eyes, both she and Harmony had vanished from sight. Optical camouflage, Harmony's voice echoed in her mind, tinged with admiration. Impressive. You're adapting to the symbiosis faster than I anticipated. Zoe grinned, though she knew Harmony couldn't see it. Let's just say I've read a lot of science fiction. Now follow me. I know someone who might be able to help us. As they slipped past the searching soldiers, Zoe's mind whirled with possibilities. She was no longer just Zoe Harper, ordinary 12-year-old girl. She was humanity's first ambassador to an alien race, and quite possibly Earth's best hope for survival. The symbiosis hummed with energy, filling her with a sense of purpose. Whatever challenges lay ahead, Zoe knew one thing for certain: the fate of two worlds now rested in her hands, and she was ready to face it head-on. Little did she know, her journey was about to take an even more extraordinary turn, one that would challenge everything she thought she knew about her own world and her place in the universe. The quantum nexus. The sun hung low on the horizon, painting Millbrook in hues of orange and purple. But for Zoe and Harmony, hidden beneath their optical camouflage, the world had taken on an entirely new dimension. As they moved through the town, Zoe could see streams of energy flowing through the air, connecting all living things in a vast, intricate web. "What is this?" Zoe whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. Harmony's voice resonated in her mind. "You're perceiving the quantum nexus, the underlying fabric of reality that connects all matter and energy in the universe. Few species ever evolve the ability to see it, let alone manipulate it." As they passed by a group of soldiers, Zoe felt a sudden surge of something. It was as if she could sense the soldiers' thoughts and emotions, a cacophony of fear, excitement, and confusion. "Harmony," Zoe gasped. "I think I can read their minds." "Not quite," Harmony replied. "The symbiosis is enhancing your natural empathy, allowing you to perceive emotional energy. With practice, you may even learn to influence it." Zoe's mind raced with the implications. "So we could potentially calm people down, make them more open to listening." "Precisely," Harmony said, a note of pride in its mental voice. "But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. We must use these abilities wisely." As they neared the edge of town, Zoe suddenly stopped in her tracks. "Wait, I know where we need to go." Guided by an instinct she couldn't quite explain, Zoe led them to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Millbrook. The building looked unremarkable from the outside, but as they approached, Zoe could see pulses of energy emanating from within. "There's something here," she murmured. "Something important." With a thought, Zoe dropped their optical camouflage. She placed her hand on the rusty door, and to her surprise, it swung open silently. Inside, the warehouse was filled with strange, pulsating crystals, each one thrumming with an otherworldly energy. "Quantum crystals," Harmony breathed, its mental voice filled with awe. "But how? These shouldn't exist on Earth for another 1,000 years." Zoe stepped forward, drawn to a particularly large crystal in the center of the room. As she neared it, images began to flash in her mind, glimpses of a future where humanity had spread to the stars, of great battles against the encroaching darkness, and at the center of it all, a figure that looked remarkably like herself. "Harmony," Zoe said, her voice trembling. "I think this is a temporal nexus point, a place where past, present, and future converge." Harmony's form rippled with surprise. "Impossible. Such places are purely theoretical, even to my people." But as Zoe reached out to touch the central crystal, the impossible became reality. The moment her fingers made contact, a burst of energy surged through her body. The warehouse dissolved around them, replaced by a swirling vortex of time and space. Images flashed by at dizzying speed, Earth's history, its potential futures, and glimpses of alien worlds beyond imagination. Zoe saw versions of herself, older, younger, some human, some not quite. And through it all, a single thread connected everything, the symbiosis between human and alien. As quickly as it began, the vision ended. Zoe found herself back in the warehouse, gasping for breath. But something had changed. The mark on her wrist now glowed with an inner fire, and she could feel new knowledge and power coursing through her veins. "Zoe," Harmony said, its mental voice filled with a mixture of awe and concern, "what you just experienced, it's beyond anything in my people's history. You've become a quantum nexus, a living bridge between realities." Zoe looked down at her hands, watching as energy danced between her fingertips. "What does this mean for us, for Earth?" Before Harmony could respond, the warehouse door burst open. A team of soldiers rushed in, led by a stern-faced woman in a lab coat. "Freeze," the woman shouted, her eyes widening as she took in the scene before her. "My God, it's true. Alien contact." Zoe stepped forward, her body humming with newfound power and purpose. "Dr. Elara Chen, I presume," she said, the name coming to her from some future memory. "We've been expecting you." Dr. Chen's jaw dropped. "How do you know my name? What is all this?" Zoe smiled, a hint of the vast knowledge she now possessed glinting in her eyes. "It's a long story, Doctor. One that involves the fate of not just our world, but every possible version of it across the multiverse." She gestured to Harmony, who had shifted its form to appear less alien, more approachable. "This is Harmony, an ambassador from a race far more advanced than our own, and I'm Zoe Harper. As of about 5 minutes ago, I've become something of an interdimensional bridge." Dr. Chen's scientific curiosity seemed to overcome her initial shock. "Interdimensional, you mean?" "I mean that the threat we face isn't just coming from outer space, Dr. Chen," Zoe interrupted. "It's coming from between the very fabric of reality itself. And believe it or not, this warehouse might just be the key to saving everything." As if on cue, the crystals around them pulsed with energy, casting ethereal shadows across the awestruck faces of the soldiers. "So," Zoe said, her voice carrying a weight of authority far beyond her years, "who's ready for a crash course in quantum physics and interdimensional diplomacy?" Dr. Chen exchanged glances with her team, then turned back to Zoe with a mix of fear and excitement in her eyes. "I think we're going to need a bigger lab." As Zoe began to explain the situation, drawing on knowledge from countless potential futures, she couldn't help but feel a surge of hope. The road ahead would be challenging, filled with dangers beyond imagination. But for the first time since this adventure began, she felt truly prepared to face them. The quantum nexus hummed around them, a reminder of the infinite possibilities that lay ahead, and at the center of it all stood Zoe Harper, no longer just a girl from a small town, but a beacon of hope for all of humanity across every dimension. Little did they know, their greatest challenge was yet to come. For as Zoe tapped into the power of the quantum nexus, ripples were spreading across the multiverse, and something ancient and terrible had taken notice. The stage was set for a battle that would determine the fate of not just one world, but all possible worlds. And at the heart of it all, a 12-year-old girl with the power to reshape reality itself. The consciousness revolution. The air crackled with tension as Zoe, Harmony, and Dr. Chen stood before a panel of world leaders, holographically projected in the underground facility hastily constructed beneath Millbrook. The quantum crystals hummed softly in the background, their energy pulsing in sync with Zoe's heightened awareness. "Ladies and gentlemen," Dr. Chen began, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation, "what we're about to share will fundamentally alter our understanding of reality itself." Zoe stepped forward, her eyes glowing with an inner light that made several leaders shift uncomfortably in their seats. "The threat we face isn't just extraterrestrial," she said, her voice resonating with newfound authority. "It's extra-dimensional, a force that consumes entire realities, erasing them from existence." Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the assembly. A stern-faced general leaned forward, his brow furrowed. "And we're supposed to believe this because a child and an alien tell us so." Zoe smiled, a hint of mischief in her expression. "Perhaps a demonstration is in order." With a thought, Zoe tapped into the quantum nexus. The air around her shimmered, and suddenly the room was filled with holographic displays of alternate Earths, some thriving utopias, others ravaged wastelands. These are not simulations, Zoe explained as the leaders gasped in awe. They're real-time windows into parallel Earths, and in each one, humanity faces the same threat we do. As if on cue, a shadow began to creep across several of the alternate Earths, consuming everything in its path. The leaders watched in horror as entire civilizations winked out of existence. This, Harmony interjected, its form shifting to better convey the gravity of the situation, is the void, a cosmic anomaly that feeds on consciousness itself. Dr. Chen stepped forward, her scientific mind racing with the implications. Our research suggests that consciousness isn't just a product of brain activity. It's a fundamental force of the universe, like gravity or electromagnetism. The void is a disruption in this cosmic consciousness field. Which is where humanity comes in, Zoe continued. Your species possesses something unique in the multiverse, a level of cognitive diversity and creative potential that's unmatched. This makes you the key to stopping the void. Dr. Chen activated a holographic display of her own, showing complex equations and neural patterns. We've developed a method to amplify human consciousness using the quantum crystals. It's a process we're calling cognitive ascension. But there's a catch, Harmony added, its mental voice tinged with concern. The process is dangerous. It will push human consciousness to its limits, possibly beyond. Some may not survive the transformation. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Finally, a thoughtful-looking woman in diplomatic attire spoke up. You're asking us to risk everything on an untested process, based on the word of a child and an alien. Zoe's eyes flashed, and for a moment, the quantum nexus surged around her. The leaders found themselves experiencing a fraction of what Zoe had seen, the infinite possibilities of human potential, the horrors of the encroaching void, and the thin thread of hope that connected it all. As the vision faded, Zoe spoke, her voice echoing with the weight of countless realities. I'm not just a child anymore. I'm a quantum nexus, a bridge between all possible versions of humanity. And I'm telling you, this is our only hope. The room was silent for a long moment. Then, one by one, the leaders began to nod. What do you need from us? The diplomatic woman asked, her voice filled with newfound resolve. Zoe smiled, feeling the quantum nexus pulse with possibility. We need volunteers, brave individuals willing to undergo cognitive ascension. But more than that, we need to prepare humanity for what comes next. Because if we succeed, we won't just be saving our world, we'll be evolving our entire species. As the leaders began to discuss logistics, Zoe felt a tremor in the quantum nexus. She exchanged a glance with Harmony, knowing they both sensed it. The void had taken notice of their plans. The clock was ticking. Over the next weeks, the world transformed. News of the impending threat and the proposed solution spread like wildfire. Cognitive ascension centers were established globally, with millions volunteering despite the risks. Zoe, Harmony, and Dr. Chen worked tirelessly, guiding the first wave of volunteers through the process. The results were beyond their wildest expectations. Those who survived cognitive ascension emerged changed. They could perceive the quantum nexus, manipulate probability, and even influence the fabric of reality itself. But more importantly, their minds had expanded in ways that defied explanation. New forms of art, music, and innovation began to emerge, each one a potential weapon against the encroaching void. But as humanity reached for the stars of consciousness, dark tendrils began to creep at the edges of reality. The void had begun its assault, and Earth's fledgling psychic defenses were about to be put to the ultimate test. Zoe stood atop the hill overlooking Millbrook, now a bustling center of Earth's resistance. The sky above rippled with quantum energy as millions of ascended minds joined together in a vast psychic network. It's time, Harmony said, its form now a swirling vortex of light and thought. Zoe nodded, feeling the weight of infinite realities on her shoulders. Let's show the void what humanity is really capable of. As she reached out with her mind, connecting with the global consciousness, Zoe couldn't help but smile. They had come so far from that night in the forest, and yet the greatest challenge still lay ahead. The battle for the multiverse was about to begin, and at its heart stood a girl from a small town, ready to lead humanity into a new age of cosmic awareness. Little did they know, the true nature of the void, and humanity's role in the grand cosmic design, was far more complex and terrifying than anyone could have imagined. As the first waves of the void crashed against Earth's psychic defenses, a truth beyond comprehension began to unfold. The fate of all consciousness, across every dimension and reality, now hung in the balance, and the key to it all lay within the evolving minds of humanity. The metacosmic awakening. The sky above Earth rippled with psychic energy as millions of ascended minds joined in a vast neural network. Zoe stood at its center, her consciousness expanded beyond the confines of her physical form. Beside her, Harmony had evolved into a being of pure thought and light. As the first tendrils of the void touched Earth's atmosphere, a shocking revelation unfolded. "Wait," Zoe gasped, her voice echoing across the global mindscape. "The void, it's not what we thought." Dr. Chen's ascended consciousness pulsed with concern. "What do you mean, Zoe?" Zoe's expanded awareness pierced through layers of reality, unveiling a truth so profound it threatened to shatter her sanity. The void isn't consuming realities, it's creating them. As if responding to her realization, the encroaching darkness began to shift and transform. What they had perceived as destruction was actually a process of cosmic mitosis, the birth of new universes. Harmony's form flickered with surprise. Impossible, unless the multiverse itself is alive, so finished, her mind reeling with the implications. In that moment of cosmic revelation, a new presence made itself known. A vast, incomprehensible intelligence unfurled across the quantum nexus, dwarfing even their combined consciousnesses. "Greetings, Exiled of Fohi," it communicated, not in words, but in pure conceptual understanding. "I am what you might CLLPEAOVRMINT." Awe and terror rippled through the global psychic network as humanity faced the ultimate cosmic truth. The multiverse, Zoe breathed, it's conscious. Consciousness is not a product of existence, the overmind explained. Existence is a product of tuonceilesness. What you perceive as reality is but a dream within my infinite mind. The truth hit Zoe like a supernova. Every universe, every possibility, every thought and dream, all were synapses firing in the cosmic brain of an entity beyond comprehension. But the void, Dr. Chen interjected, her scientific mind struggling to process the revelation. Why does it threaten us? It is no threat, the overmind responded. It is evolution. As THOUGHTS within my mind, UHAVARECEDA theoretical GNCTOA. You must either TRNSCND or be reabsorbed, making way for new DREMs. Zoe's heart raced as she grasped the gravity of the situation. You mean humanity must evolve beyond mere consciousness or cease to exist? Precisely lie. But take HART. For UHAVEALWED begin the PROCS. Your Suruki Native Ascension is TH1st STG. Tuba Artis Wavitai Seal NETACOSFIC awareness. A wave of understanding washed over Zoe. The quantum crystals, the symbiosis with harmony, the unlocking of human potential, it had all been leading to this moment. We're not just fighting for our existence, Zoe announced to the collective human consciousness. We're fighting for our right to become something more, to transcend the very concept of reality itself. As if in response to the declaration, the void surged forward. But now, with their newfound understanding, humanity saw it not as an end, but as an opportunity for rebirth. Zoe reached out, connecting not just with human minds, but with every consciousness across the multiverse. Everyone, focus. We need to synchronize our thoughts, our dreams, our very essence. In that moment, something unprecedented occurred. Human creativity, alien wisdom, and the infinite potential of the quantum nexus aligned in perfect harmony. A new form of existence began to take shape, one that transcended the boundaries between thought and reality, observer and observed. The overmind's presence pulsed with approval. You LNDS tandi at last. Now, take the HFY beats one with the DREM. With a collective effort of will that resonated across every dimension, humanity pushed beyond the limits of consciousness. They became living equations, sentient probability waves, dreams that could dream themselves. As the transformation reached its peak, Zoe found herself face to face with infinite versions of herself from across the multiverse. In a moment of cosmic synchronicity, they smiled and spoke as one. We are Zoe, and we are so much more. The void, once perceived as a threat, now became a canvas. Humanity, in its new metacosmic form, began to paint new realities, seed new universes, and explore dimensions of thought previously unimaginable. Harmony, now fully integrated into the human metaconsciousness, marveled at the transformation. You've done it, Zoe. Humanity has become the architects of reality itself. The overmind's presence enveloped them in cosmic warmth. You hei cheos and wisely, drem children. Now, the true journey begins. As the newly ascended human consciousness expanded across the multiverse, Zoe realized that their adventure was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. Epilogue. Eons passed in the blink of a cosmic eye. Zoe, now a being of pure thought and infinite possibility, gazed upon the tapestry of the multiverse. Each thread was a universe, each weave a dimension of reality. With a thought, she zoomed in on a particular strand, a small blue planet orbiting an unremarkable star. There, a young girl stood in a forest clearing, marveling at a strange, shimmering creature that had fallen from the sky. Zoe smiled, recognizing her past self at the beginning of her journey. With infinite gentleness, she reached out across time and space, planting a seed of inspiration in her younger self's mind. Dream big, little one, she whispered across the cosmos. For in your dreams lie the keys to reality itself. As young Zoe in the forest felt a sudden surge of courage and wonder, her ascended self turned her attention back to the cosmic tapestry. There were infinite realities to explore, countless dreams to nurture, and a multiverse of possibilities to shape. The adventure, it seemed, would never truly end, for in the grand cosmic dream, every ending was just a new beginning. And somewhere, in the infinite mind of the overmind, a new thought began to take shape, a whole new multiverse, born from the dreams of those who had transcended reality itself.